What is up, everybody? What up, YouTube fam? What up, social media team? I hope everyone's having a great day. It's Tag a Bag Tuesday with the Mavericks, and we've already got ourselves a bag earlier today, and we're looking to make another one here overnight. I love to specialize in buying one day and selling the next, and I like to create an overnight watch list to close every day, and that's what we're doing right now. So I'm trying to find 5 stocks to put on my overnight watch list for possibilities overnight. And the ones I do like right now are MBOT, AISP, CRLBF, because we have cannabis stocks that are randomly starting to spike just a little bit. So maybe just trying to catch a little something in that. We'll see if something can follow up there. You also have CURLF for cannabis stocks that look pretty good on a first green day. And then we also have NOPMF and SGMO. Those are the ones I'm deciding between. BTQ is a quantum stock. That's another one that's pretty decent. But all of these across the board are lining up with one of my patterns that I usually like to risk overnight. And I like to try to buy today and sell tomorrow. So right now we have CRLBF at 101. And we got some MBOT at 244. Those are the two spots we got right now. But let's see if we could close out and find some more at the end of the day here. How's everybody doing though? Anyone else got anybody that they're looking at? I saw him and he was looking at a little bit of the CURLF and VRNO. VRNO is nice. That was like the first one to get the spike out of all the cannabis stocks. But CRLBF breaking $1. That's why I'd say this one I'd prefer, or CURLF that's holding this 245 and about to break 250. But let me update the overnight watch list, and we'll see if we could make one of these turn into an overnight winner like we did in FFIA last night. So far we just got that CRL, the only one right now. We'll see if there's any other ones and MBOT. But CRLBF, I'm not going to go really big, so I just decided to go a couple thousand there. And we're just going to look for hopefully the push back above 110. Ideally for CRLBF, it gets some news that cannabis has been waiting for, because cannabis has been waiting for news for a while. And we possibly start to get a real push like it has recently. But I think this is one that, is down by support levels. It's bouncing off support. And last time it got a spike, it went all the way to 120. So if we can catch this here and see if we can get a spike, we'll keep our eyes on it. But I like it. It does have a big seller right now, so be a little careful. But we'll keep our eyes out at 101. We're able to slip our way in. And then CurlF is actually making new highs as the other cannabis stock. No matter what, though, you want to watch MSOS if you're going to watch cannabis. And usually when this one is able to go, the rest are. So it started up. For some reason, last week it started up a little bit but came right back down. Honestly, this isn't a holiday week. Last week was a holiday week, so maybe this actually gets the momentum to finally follow up. So I like it a little better on this turn compared to last turn. But we'll keep watching MSOS and all the rest of them. So those are the cannabis ones. Opening up all the rest of them, NOPMF, lighter volume, but it's a clear breakout. And usually breakouts follow up. This one actually has history of gap ups. So looking for a gap up. I'm looking for a dip there. And same with AISP, SGMO. We're looking for dips there. So give me about 3 minutes to update this list. Once I update it, we'll just go over it, even though I kind of briefly already went over it there. On this list, I update it every day in the community, the Stock Mavericks community. So if you're here on YouTube with me right now, you can actually find me on Simpler Trading every day with the live community, sending out the alerts all day. Here's the one from yesterday with our FFAI. We were able to take it from, it was like 51 to 55. And then, unfortunately, KBLB, did you guys see that one? It ended up continuing. So that was the other one we took, but we broke even. but now it's up 13%. It keeps running. I mean, I can't take it anymore, but that wick screwed us over this morning. And it's all right. I got shaken out. I felt like I was trying to tackle a pro football player, and I completely whiffed on the tackle there. I was pretty embarrassing on that move. But it did end up going all the way up 15% today, and that's ideally what we were looking for. All right, let me finish this list. If I keep talking, I'm not going to do it. So hold on 1 second. Once we update it, we will go over it and see what we got. Today, my favorite stock on the list is a robotic stock, and it has news. And yesterday, FFAI decided to be a robotic stock as well, and they changed that. I mean, they've been an EV stock, they've been an AI stock, but if you go to FFAI, the stock, you'll see they actually created news that they are coming out with robots. So they've became a robotic stock, and they spiked. So both of the stocks I like this week are robotic stocks. And if you know me, I've been saying this is the year of the robot. You know how China does the year of the fire dragon? Well, I think in the stock world, this is the year of the robot. That's just my opinion on it. So I'm updating my list right now, and once I finish it, like I said, in the next 2 minutes, we'll go over it, and we'll see if one of these can turn into an overnight winner. AISP and MBOT, if you were with my team earlier, we've been looking at that one since early in the morning. It's literally been the main watcher since early in the morning, both AISP and MBOT. So if you caught those earlier, you're looking pretty good. Definitely in AISP, you'd be looking good. In MBOT, we caught at 244 earlier. Not as good as AISP, but still looking all right. If you weren't with me yesterday, I started trading stocks because I love news. I always say if you're bored and you got nothing going on, instead of doom scrolling, you should just open up your Thinkorswim and read some cool news articles. Go look at a sector you think is interesting and read it. And we had some pretty cool news yesterday in the stock we played, KBLB. That's up 13% now. But they're actually on the front cover of National Geographic. So it's pretty cool. You don't really hear that too much. They're making spider silk. So they're making actually some sort of silk clothing out of spider. Pretty crazy. And they've been around before. They used to be a big spiker, but they've disappeared for a while, and now they're back. Looks like they didn't give up on their dreams, on their silk dreams. Their spider silk dreams, that is. I love that. It ended up getting a big spike for KBLB. Unfortunately, we didn't make too much money on it, but we were up a couple hundred overnight. We were looking pretty good. All right, so I'm on the last stock right now that I'm updating, and then we're going to go over this list. It's actually 4 listed stocks and 1 OTC. Yesterday, it was the opposite way around. So we're switching our way back up to listed stocks. The market, the QQQ and SPY are having a nice day. So that also helps usually these small cap listed stocks that we like to play. All right, so let's go over this list now. All right, so these are the 5 stocks that we have. I always keep it down to 5, even though there's more than 5 that I like today. I try to keep it to 5 because I always say taking 1 to 2 stocks is ideal. My opinion, once you start to take like 3, 4, 5, it becomes a little overwhelming. So I'm not the biggest fan of taking a whole bunch of stocks. But the 5 that I like personally are right here, and there's key levels on every single one of them. So the way that I like to read my watch list that I create every day at 3 o'clock with my community It's something that really helps people out if you're busy throughout the day and you want to just pop in and try to make some money in the market. This is usually a good way to try to find stocks that can give you opportunity. Because really, what I'm looking for is 10 to 15% overnight per night. And it starts with MBOT. It's a robotic stock up 20%. The cool thing about them is the year of the robot, yes. So it lines up with the sector. That's probably my favorite this year. And you got some news in the state of Florida that I'm in right now. So pretty cool stuff as well. You have robotic news, and the robotic system actually is going to be helping the First Health System, or the Tampa General for the First Health System in Florida to adopt this robotic system. So pretty cool to see robotics hopefully helping out in the health industry. You know, people are scared they're going to steal their job, but I think you're still going to need people to be there while that's going on. So you'll be all right. But MBOT is my favorite for sure. And the way you'll read this watch list is I like to put the stock, what the stock pattern is. So in my opinion, the first green day is one of my 5 patterns. You have to find what patterns work for you consistently. And I found 5, and this is what I've named them. The great part is in stock trading, you are your own boss. So once you find those patterns, you can name them whatever you want. Momentum, big green stick, because it's a green candle. I don't know what you want to name it, but name it whatever you want. Mine's are the first green day, and everybody kind of calls it that too. It's a typical pattern. I usually look for multiple red days and then a first green day, or multiple sideways days and then a 15 to 10% day. And that's what we're getting in both AISP and MBOT. MBOT's up 20%, AISP's up 18%. And then I like to put the key resistance levels, which would be usually the high a day, and the support levels, which usually I like to make my risk. So every day I try to have those 2 levels as key levels that I watch to possibly hold and follow up. And we got MBOT, AISP, CRLBF as the cannabis one, but you can do this one, or you can do CURLF, whichever one you think you like better. And then I did NOPMF, which is a lighter volume, but it is, a clear breakout, and it's held that breakout spot even when it dipped earlier. And then the last one is AISP. AISP, I'm only going to go after. The last one is SGMO. And SGMO, I'm probably not going to go after. I like the other ones better. But this is also a recent runner too. So I had to put it on there. But I think I like the other ones better. I do like AISP and MBOT for sure. And I've already got some CRLBF. So with these 2, I'm going to try to get my way in by the end of the day. And maybe even a little bit of NOPMF if it dips. But if it stays up here, I might stay away from it. We'll see. Does anybody have any questions as we finished off that overnight watch list and we look to make some money here on one of these plays? Ideally, we look to buy and sell by tomorrow. If you open up FFAI, a good example would be yesterday to today. I know it says it's down, but we like to catch dips, and we caught this dip yesterday right here. And as it squeezed after hours, it was up 10% at one point, and then we ended up just taking the bag where we had it right here in the morning. So we ended up making, or it was right here. So we ended up making like 8% overnight. But like I said, I usually try to find stocks that are going to give me 10 to 15% winners. Sometimes if it's going to be a stock with volume, a stock with news, or a stock that has a hot sector, I might wait a little longer and try to let it spike. So the best thing about trading is I'm here to usually find you the hot stocks and find good spots to enter, but you can kind of decide what you want to sell after if they're able to hold and continue that next day. And usually, if you have a day like MBOT where it's strong and it's holding all day, it has a good ability to at least push up and gap up that next day. There's a lot of past history of MBOT at least gapping up, and that's what we're looking for. We caught the dip at right around 240, and I'm trying to add some more closer to 244 where the original spot is. But then we also, if it could curl back up to 260, 258 by the end of the day, you're already up about 6-7%, 8%, and then you look for the gap up the next morning and you're golden. So that's usually what we look for, but we'll see what we get. Let's see if we get the dip, and we'll get the rest of the fills there in this MBOT. I do like it, so I do want it to dip a little bit. Same with AISP. Dips are discounts in my opinion, so I do want AISP to dip as well. It's interesting to see CRLBF dip because all the other cannabis ones are up by highs. I do expect this one to get a quick little pop. 101 is where we were able to catch it, and it's a lighter volume one, so I didn't go as heavy. Just put a couple thousand in there, 3,500 or so. But we're seeing if we can get a pop back at least to 105, and then hopefully a gap up to start the day. Same type of situation as MBOT, just a complete different stock. I like to describe these stocks as pitchers, like pitchers in a baseball league. And every pitcher has the same goal. Everyone wants to just throw a strike and strike the batter out. The stocks are doing the same thing. They just want to move. They're just going to move. You just have to learn how to move them, and everybody just wants to make money. So you kind of have to learn how to hit them. And usually once baseball players learn how to hit certain pitchers, they get pretty good with playing those guys over and over again. So it's very similar here. We've actually played MBOT before. We've played AISP before and CRLBF. So familiar with every single one of these. NOPMF's the only one I've never played. So that's why I said I don't really want to chase this one, but it does have a lot of follow-up gap ups in its past. And it's a metal stock, and we have a lot of metal stocks that have been spiking. Metals have been looking pretty good. You have CRML that followed up, MP, it's creating a first green day, UAMY, creating a first green day. So we got these metal stocks that are trying to hold here. And that's just an OTC metal. Usually I don't get too aggressive to the last 30 minutes. The only thing like I said, have the full size, at least my full size would be CRLBF, and I'm going a little smaller there. MBOT and AISP would be the other two I'm going to try to get my way into, but I think I can wait for any more dip in the last 30 minutes, or at least maybe a little bit lower. Same thing with this NOPMF. I know it's very light, but if it does dip closer to like 1850 again, maybe I'll go after that. And what I'm looking to do is sell it by tomorrow morning. So usually 10:30 to 11 a.m. Eastern time, I'm out of these stocks. Sometimes I'll hold them. It all depends on the situation and if they get news the next morning and what exactly happens there. But a lot of this is just one day to the next and rinse and repeat. And then try to continue to compound. I like BTQ, Toby. I saw Toby just brought up BTQ. That was the only other one I was debating. It's got that clear cut of 250. 250 is usually a great spot for it to hold. Last time we played it, it gapped up. I do like it. That was the only one I was going to put on there. That one and CURLF. KBLB's up to 15 now. That one really shook us out. Talk about a shake and break, man. That thing looked like that was me just hanging out there, and freaking Bijan Robinson was coming down the hole, and it was just me and Bijan, and he just completely shook me out. And boom, after that recovery. But you can't be perfect in this game, and that's why I love trading. In my opinion, it's my favorite game ever because of that. Just like golf. Trading and golf, very, very similar. All right, we're getting a little dip in MBOT, so we'll see if we can get our fills there. It looks like CRLBF's going to dip a little bit. Let's see if it can hold one. And AISP is dipping. This is good to see. We want lowered, though. I want closer to 280 for this one. It's spiked all day because we're going to have to use like 270 as cut. I mean, we could use 280 as cut, but we'll see. Let me see if it holds 285 first for AISP. And then the other one would be this MBOT. We're going to see if it can hold as it starts to dip a little bit here. CWBHF was interesting as well, Himini, but it's just a bounce green day. I wish I would have had it closer down here. It didn't quite panic this morning for a panic dip buy, but it did get closer to 50, and it's bounced from 50 to 70. That's a huge bounce. We were waiting for that bounce there. I guess it just never really caught the panic I was looking for. CRLBS getting a little dip. Last time MSOS spiked, cannabis stocks came right back down. That's also why I'm not trying to go pretty heavy in these cannabis stocks. We got to stay lighter if we're playing cannabis, unless there's some sort of news article that should be coming out soon. That's more what we're kind of trying to play this for. Momentum in that sense. But last time it came up, it came right back down. We'll see if this is the charm that gets it going. I want MBOT to come a little bit lower. Well, let's watch this MBOT. See if MBOT can hold here. When I like to buy these slower ones, I like to buy them on the bid. So usually I'll put my limit in on the bid and we'll slowly get added. If it's an OTC stock, I usually always like to buy 1 or 2 trades. Because with OTCs, you have to pay commissions, a little more expensive when getting into those. A lot of listed stuff, it's a little more cheaper. You kind of just buy and sell. So ideally, that's usually what we look for, is getting in on the dips. And same with the OTCs. With NOPMF or CRLBF, I usually try to put my limit on the bid, which right now, we got in at 101. So if you like it, you can get in. But I try to let it come down to me too there as well. We got about 2,000 shares of MBOT now. And we are past the 30-minute mark of Power Hour. Last 30 minutes is usually when I like to make a move. So that's why I'm starting to buy a little more of this MBOT now as we continue to hold. Can't believe KBLB. Looks like it's going to gap up again. And what about HGRAF? So talk about a stock we were watching this morning for a short. We're going to have to watch it tomorrow morning again. It's got a beautiful hold all day. And this definitely looks like it has a really good chance to gap up, especially after the strong close. But I just can't do it. We were buying it on this day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it was last Tuesday. What was this? It was last time we were live together. I think so. Oh, no, it was Wednesday. Yeah. No, but I think we bought it on this day together last week. So if you were with us, we were literally buying on this day and we bought this day. So we bought 2 different days for HGREF. And now I do want to short it. I think it's a great short. It has news today, so that's why I didn't pick the short today. And good thing I didn't, because it continued to squeeze. But every morning, just like I make an overnight watch list, I make a morning watch list as well to prepare myself for the morning and the whole team to try to find what we're looking for. And we really liked as well that HCRF first red day, so we gotta like it again today. Wednesday if it gaps up. That one in for sure gonna be my number one on here. We have Xenog 2 as a 52-week breakout. That's coming up. It's an oil stock. They're going to have MBOT for a month breakout. Seeing the stock I like and the trade I like. And it's really just 5 patterns that I go after. So if I didn't like anything today, you can always continue to watch for that gap or possibly an HGREF tomorrow. And the ones that are highlighted in green are usually the ones I have. All right, there we go. Those are the ones I like for now. We'll report back later when we come back. But all right, still watching this MBOT. And our 2,000 shares now at 245 average. And I'm trying to add some on a dip. SP dipped a little bit, but not much. Still looking for one more pullback there too. The closer we get to 4 o'clock, the more I'm going to decide to just go for it. These are listed stocks, so they will move after hours. So make sure to continue to look at them till 8 p.m. Eastern and early in the morning at 7 a.m. Eastern, just in case you want to sell for a gap up like we did in FFAI. FFAI was a nice couple $100 there to start the day, like 500. And we win one and we lose one. That's the beauty of trading, and we still come up with plus $400 in the morning. So that's really what it's all about, trying to make sure you stick to the overnight cut spots, the daily support spots, and trying to let your winners gap up and push above the resistance spots. All right, we got 20 minutes left. Let's see what we got. I don't know if there's any Miami Hurricane fans out there, but I went to Florida State, and we got a nice basketball game tonight. Both of these college basketball teams are actually fairly hot recently. FSU is 14-14 or 13-13. They're dead even. But has actually broke a record for the hottest they've been with the brand new coach. They're like 21-5. So we got a really nice game coming up. I think FSU's won 8 straight. The coach for FSU is actually used to be an old player. When I went to school, they won the ACC my freshman year. They beat Duke. They beat UNC. I was when Austin Rivers was on the team. I actually got to storm the court. It's actually pretty fun. Whatever his name is, Doc Rivers' son. So we'll see what happens tonight. We got some fun games to watch tonight. We're back to no football. So just basketball and my favorite hockey. But that doesn't start till Thursday. After the amazing gold win, my brother actually had the chance to go hang out at 11 yesterday, and he didn't pull the trigger. He blew it. He actually works for the Panthers. I told him if I was there, we would have been there 100%, hanging out with the boys. AISP is dipping a little more, so let's see how much lower it can go. MBOT's got ourselves. We might just try to go after it. 245 is our average, but it might be time. Like Bruce Buffer says, it's time. Guy's great, man. If you want to hear a good story, you gotta listen to Bruce Buffer's story. I'm gonna start a little bit of this ATAI here because I do want, or AISP, because I do want AISP and MBOT overnight. I can't believe KBLB is still going. That NOPMF is not dipping, unfortunately. I did want some of that one. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I did speak about the year of the robot earlier, and if you're wondering what I was talking about, there's other robotic stocks, not just the one we're looking at today, that you can keep your eye on. RR is a great one. They got news of Microsoft earlier this year. That's why I got this spike. And now they're actually down to a really key spot. I'm actually going to put it on my overnight watch list. Same with REKR. This and Record. Seems like robotic stocks are looking like they're about to bounce, in my opinion. Serve as well, which is the higher priced one, SERV. So there's a small list of stocks there to keep your eye on. All right, ASP's coming a little lower. This is what we want. I think at this point, 285 is what we're going to go after. And MBOT, I'm just going to go after it. So we're going after MBOT with the rest. It's going to be, it's like 245 right now is what we got. You looking at that one still, Himini? No, brother. CRLBF's trying to hold. I respect that it's holding $1. I do respect that, and that's why catching a dip is nice. You have low risk. Got 15 minutes left here in the day. This NOPMF, I think I'm gonna have to stay away from, but nice bounce from 18. I think I'm gonna end up with 3 stocks here overnight. Usually I've been lately averaging like 2 trades a day. Today it looks like we're going to have 3. But it's been about 2 trades a day. Last week was a holiday week with Monday being off for President's Day. I typically like to be a little bit more patient during time like that. That Mondays are usually a little more patience. But we're green this week again. It's been a green every week so far this year, which has been nice. Or actually 1 week we were red so far. Sorry. And I think it was last week. The slow holiday week. Let's go CRLBF. Someone just bought that spot at CRLBF at 102, so we'll see if it can bounce back up to 105. The next 2 bounces we're looking for is MBOT and AISP now. With the QQQ and SPY being green, that usually helps these listed stocks too. So I always like to eye down what sector my stocks are in, and then I always like to eye down the overall market if they're listed the next morning. So since these are robotic stocks, we'll see if there's any other news in the robotic sector for MBOT, and then AISP is actually an AI stock. Try to get some more of AISP here. Same with MBOT. We just going after it there on that spike. God dang, there we go, guys. And then AISP is the last one we're going to try to go after. But nice move there in MBOT to start it up. So our average there is 246. CRLBF is 101. And AISP now we're going after with the rest. It's not going to be as big of a size in AISP that I wanted. The only one that I'm not going to go after now is NO PMF. SGMO I was planning to stay away from anyway, so I'm okay with that. Unless it dipped. All right, last 10 minutes of the day. Let's see if we can get any type of push here. So I'm going to use 285 as cut now in AISP. Since it did hold that spot, that's going to be the area we'll try to use. MBOT just got rejected right at highs. So hopefully after hours, maybe it can spike back to highs. That would be ideal. But we'll see. We got 10 minutes left. Let's see if we can get the pushes. It looks like MSOS is coming back to highs, so that should help CRLBF. You have Curl F also coming back to highs. So if you like that, the dip was earlier right there around the 240s. You want to try to catch dips just like we were doing in AISP and MBOT. We say dips are discounts. And also, if you're buying on a dip, then you have more reward on the upside. But all right, anyone have any questions in the YouTube channel? Sorry for showing up a little late here today. We were supposed to actually start at 3. But we were zoned in. There was so much stuff going on. It's nice to see we got stuff moving again, especially after last week. It was such a slow week here last week with the holidays, but it feels great to be back. It's funny as a trader, you'll end up running into a week like that and you'll be like, damn, is this worth it? And then boom, it just takes one day to get you right back in it. Last Tuesday, we did have that HGRAF on there. So exactly like we were saying, we got that HGRAF last week, if you remember. And then last Tuesday was when we were together, and we're usually live every Tuesday here, but I'm every day with my team. But we also had ATAI, and that's one that's on our morning watch list because it's going to follow up. We had both those stocks. They actually both worked out that day overnight. So we actually had some nice bags there. And ATAI is coming back up again if you like that one. It had that 420 resistance. If it stays above that, we'll see if it can push. But that was the ones we were watching last week together. It's a psychedelic stock right there. So keep your eyes out. CRLBF coming back to highs. This is kind of what we were looking for on that little dip. Let's see if it could break back out. MSOS coming back to highs. That's what we want to see. And then our MBOT and our AISP are looking pretty good too. Let's see if MBOT could make a push back up or what exactly is going to happen. But that was a random little minute candle that got it a nice spike to highs. If it could break high days, that'd be beautiful. Keep an eye on it after hours. It might be having an opportunity to do it after hours. Yesterday, if you were trading with us, FFAI moved after hours. It gave us a nice little spike and almost like a 10% move after hours. So we'll see if MBOT can move. It's up 23% on the day. And 23% closing strong with news. Those are all the things I usually like to possibly follow up. With that CRLBF and MSOS for cannabis, I'm almost setting myself up for either just a quick gap up and trying to sell right away, or maybe some sort of news finally comes out. They declassified cannabis last month, and they said they were supposed to do more with it last month, and nothing really came out, no news or anything. So we'll see. Maybe something comes out of it. All good. Don't usually trade the low price toe in the water. Nice, Knowles. That's what it's all about. That's what I'm here for. I'm only doing a couple thousand, and that's really how I believe you can grow your account. I've done a pretty nice run here. I've consistently traded the same patterns since all the way back here in 2018. At the beginning of my career, it took me a while to figure out what works. But if you go back until 2019 and all these trades on Profitly, you can actually see I start to create the patterns, and I actually write them down now. Every trade I put on here has the pattern and what it is. And if you go back to, all the way back in 2018 and 2019, that's where you can see it start to form. And that's what trading is all about, really tracking your record and seeing how you've done. So with the small amount of money, you can actually grow that small amount with these cheaper stocks. And I was always one of those people that didn't have a lot of money to start with. So only started with a $3,000 account here. And we're just continuing to make it grow. All right, we got 5 minutes left. But welcome, Knowles. Glad to have you here. And if you want to join the team, it's on simplertrading.com under Stock Mavericks. But if not, all good. We're live every Tuesday. Come hang out and see if you like it then. I'm going to be trading no matter what. Oh, what the heck was that? CRLVF got that weird dip. As long as we hold the dollar, we're fine. But if you like it, that's why you have that limit down there at 101. See if it could possibly gap. It's getting a little volatile at the end of the day, and that's fine. We're really just playing this for the gap up back above 105. So hopefully it does that tomorrow. No matter what happens today, that's ideally what we're looking for. It's a weird spread, but if you do want to catch a little dip there, that's the way to do it. Nice. AISP still holding. All right, we've got a couple minutes left. I don't know what that was, weird dip in CRLBF, but MSOS also dipped really quickly. So as you can see, they do follow each other pretty closely. So MSOS will move after hours. You want to keep an eye on that, see if it has any news after hours too. And let's see if we can get these gap ups tomorrow. For the listed stocks, we'll watch them until 8 p.m. and we'll wake up at 7 and see if we get the gap ups. I don't know what happened with Thinkorswim, but they changed their volume to a whole bunch of decibel places. I have no clue why on the app. It screws it up. But if I actually have a code that you can get, if you're part of the team and you don't have that code, you can actually find it in the file section. But that really should help not make it as confusing, because Thinkorswim tried to make it so confusing just recently with adding a whole bunch of decibel places in the volume. All right, guys, we got 2 minutes left. And like the Miami Heat announcer likes to say, dos minutos. I don't know what's going on with MSOS, but it's getting a little volatile. It's coming back down to 4, so I guess CRLBS is probably going to close right around 1 or even. But we're looking for gap ups, and really the listed ones were my better ones, AISP and MBOT. Those are the ones we're really trying to gap here. Going to hit Orange Theory after this. Trying to really stay consistent on my fitness challenge this year. I really do think the discipline inside the market helps, or outside the market really helps you inside the market. So try to, if you find yourself veering away outside the market somewhere, try to work on that and see what happens inside the market. For me, it's actually helping me. It really is. I've been doing pretty consistent. I actually hit LA Fitness earlier. Now we're doing Orange Theory. So 2 a days here. Oof, MSOS is getting a weird dip here into the close. But that's okay, because as long as these hold, which hopefully it does, we'll just look for the gap up. And honestly, this is better for the gap up because now it's slightly down to 399 MSOS. So if it does get back to 410, we're gapping up tomorrow. And probably the rest of the MSOS will do the same. So we just need this hold into close here. And we only got 20 seconds left. All right, if you guys enjoyed it, every single day I'm trading with the team in the Simpler Trading community under Stock Mavericks. Come find me. We have a 7-day trial. Always having fun in there, live twice a day. So we'll see if we can get the gap up tomorrow morning. I'll be in there hopefully selling these gaps. Watch these stocks after hours. See if they make any type of move after hours. Some of them will be volatile. Sometimes they won't move at all. So just keep an eye on them and see what exactly happens. Great work today, though. Let's keep taking it one day, one trade at a time. It was another green day in the books, and we're doing pretty good. Let's keep it consistent. All right, everyone. Great day. Tag Bag Tuesday officially is in the books. YouTube family, I'll see you guys next week or on the Simpler website. Come check us out.